I am reviewing Chapter 3 in the book with drawing and drafting fundamentals, and I'm specifically going to focus on the line types that you should use in your space plan drawing and for your hand drawings. Let's begin. Drawing and sketching. Drawing is a means of communication used by designers to effectively convey ideas and converse with others. And sketching can be used to initiate and explore basic concepts. So once you get good at sketching, then it becomes your tool to illustrate and to reach others. And sometimes it gets very creative. As you can see in this drawing, this is a bubble diagram that we'll talk about, but then as it becomes more actualized, you get to see more things, and then also a detailed drawing of what the fireplace will look like. Sketching and idea generation. Drawings can depict 3D concepts or even be used for plan exploration. So once they have this laid out, they can start to imagine in their mind and then show us what it looks like in 3D. As concepts develop, a number of software programs be used by the designer to help realize a project, such as this remodel lake house modeled in SketchUp. And in our program, we're relying on a lot of Revit, and so the sketching and drawing you do beforehand can help you out in this process. We're making drafting and construction drawings. So drafting is a particular type of drawing that conveys specific information about the size, composition, assembly, and other exacting characteristics. Here is a floor plan that is for a very modern looking area, but you can see the tiled floor, the door openings, the pochade walls, as you walk through, you enter different spaces, and these are some of the entourage, which are the landscape. On the left, this is an example of interior elevations, and it looks like it's a full kitchen interior, so they're showing you one face as you walk around each face of it, and we can coordinate this. Let's see, 1.4. It could be this building, but we don't know for sure because there are no tag marks on this one to relate to what these are drawings. So we can only speculate. But this is what you'll mostly do in a firm for a while. Drafting construction drawings. Construction drawings require a great deal of attention as they must be clear, concise, and accurate with high quality lines and legible dimensions and notes. So this is where your sharp pencil instrument comes in handy for you to go ahead and create. This is a section, and we won't have to worry about sections for a couple of weeks. But notice the great amount of detail, as you can see, as this building is getting sliced into. You can kind of get an idea of the bottom floor and the top floor at the same time, and including the structure on this one. Line types. Lines are drawn to describe the objects, hidden conditions, and important relationships between components and the space. Lines have both direction and weight, intensity, or thickness. And we kind of can tell this one's a little bit flat lined, but look at the grid mark behind it. That should be very light. This should be a medium, and then the overall edge should be very thick. We'll have better examples of this. Commonly used line types. There is a cutting plane, object lines, hidden lines, shown as the dashed. Center lines are also dashed. Leaders, which are these little curved points, break lines, and layout lines. Okay, here's the topic that you need to remember for your own drawing, is that basically we have three line types. We have the dark line, shown by these two examples. We have medium to dark lines, which is the object. the most common thing that we see, and usually this is a border, frame, or a floor plane. And then medium lines are used to show dimensions, could be a dimension line, very sharp. And then light lines are reserved for hatches and less important materials, maybe the outline of an oven or something like that. To go over the thick dark lines are commonly used in building sections to denote where a place is cut. So they cut through this gets a little bit darker. This is a computer generated. Medium lines weights are used for hidden objects, outlining planes of objects, center lines, as well as equipment and furniture. So all your furniture will get a medium weight line, so it stands out against the heaviness of the walls. And then this is going to be our hatch line, which we'll discuss next. Thin lines can be used as guidelines. Slightly darker light lines are used for dimensions, leaders, door swings, and brake lines. So you can see that more of these are more light, and this would be a heavy dark line here because it's containing everything within it, so it would count as a border. In order to make words and letters and drawings quickly and easily understood, a universal size of lettering is used, which is usually done in all capital letters. So here we have our guidelines that help us make sure that we have good hand lettering. By establishing these guidelines that we don't go above or below, we kind of stay within that border. You'll have to judge what's too wide or too narrow. So you need a nice even spacing. And lettering on a computer is a lot easier, and that will come to you soon. But basic guidelines for lettering is good lettering is made by consistently including height, style, and spacing. And here is some of the title blocks you can see. In hand lettering, horizontal guidelines can be used for height consistency. 2 or 3 guidelines can be used. And then as we use them on drawings, lettering should be consistent throughout the drawing. They do like to line up things, and that's one thing I learned at the office is keeping those alignments helps you stay organized. Grouping of notes are often left justified for good drafting techniques and readability. So there's justified. We've started a few times putting down the drawing, and here's the process. We get our drafting tape. We come back with our T-square and make sure it's in alignment with the edge, and then we're ready to draft. Starting the floor plan in a hand drafting environment is drawings are started with light lines drafting the floor plan. So you try and get the overall shape. And you've done that now with a couple of types, and then the doors and windows are added, darkened, or cleaned up. And as you develop the floor plan, room names, furniture, and textures are all added. So here's almost a complete plan that has all the parts to it. We'll develop the floor plan. Later in the drawing can be developed into a construction drawing, as discussed in a later chapter. So you start building onto these drawings. We use a lot of our vellum overlays when appropriate. Here we're working on dimension this week, so you can see a good example. This isn't aligned, so things are trying to appear at the bottom and to the right, but they also have added some dimensions onto the top. You may be thinking about how do you transport your drawings back and forth from home to school. Rolling the drawings is one option, and rolling the drawings with the information printed on the outside causes them to curl and hide the drawing from the viewer when unrolled. So if you roll it with the direction of the drawing, you'll have better luck on having this layout flat when you reuse it. There are a lot of drafting standards, and all these symbols should be memorized, or you should try to incorporate them when you can, or just know that they are here, because showing a material symbol increases your understanding. It's like taking a picture and words are more things can be interpreted from what you're illustrating. Uniformly accepted standards, abbreviations, and symbols developed to communicate information between various industry professionals. And finally, abbreviations. Here's an electric legend. When you have something like this, when we make our electrical, we will go hunt out all of our symbols that we're going to use, and then we're going to add a legend to them. And then we're also going to use those pieces as we walk around and create the electrical plan. This electrical plan is shown with various symbols, and legend above describes what each symbol represents. Thank you for viewing.